Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the My Kind of Thing University, or My Kind of Things, My Kind of Thing University Sunset Doll Crochet Along. Let's see. I know we're supposed to be live at 7:30, so I'm a little early. It's good to be early. It's definitely better than being late. Let me turn my notifications on. Okay, I just want to make sure that everything is in working order. Hopefully I can see the chat and I don't have to get my phone ready in order to do that. Make sure the sound is okay, because we are going to be crocheting together today, this evening, and get comfy. I love off-the-shoulder stuff, but I hate off-the-shoulder stuff that tries to get on the shoulder. I need to fix the elastic in this, because I think it's just working too well. I need to loosen it up just a little bit, because like I said, it should be off the shoulder. It should be trying to creep up onto the shoulder. When it goes up, it reminds me of little kid clothing. Okay. Make sure I have all my supplies. Yeah, and we're gonna spend this lovely Friday evening just crocheting some pieces. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I have the instructions pulled up. Because I'm good for not having that. Where the heck are they? Is this it? Yeah, there it is. And then pull this up here. Okay. So I was actually working on the arm because I only did one arm, and they were a little delinquent. We were supposed to have limbs done. I have the feet and legs done. At 7:30, I'll do the introduction. We're just going to kind of hang out a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that I had everything that I needed in order to do this live. Just make sure. So we got legs, we got an arm, and of course the head and shoulders, because today, I believe today is the dress and body, and because the design is designed for the dress to be a part of the body, excuse me, we are going to work it out. I don't know, I gotta figure out a way for these lives to be a little bit more lively, because I feel like I'll be doing a lot of talking and I don't know, but if you have any suggestions, that'll be good. I would have loved some sort of music, but you know, copyright stuff always makes restrictions. But if you're new here, this is the design that we're working on. This is the sunset design, named for the fact that her clothing kind of resembles the setting sun, or the colors of the setting sun. She's really cute. I really like her. And because I struggle with repeating things for this second version that we're going to be working on together today, I'm swapping out the yellow with the orange. So I'm just going to move it. So for me, everywhere the pattern suggests yellow, I'm going to use orange instead. Yeah, and I'm going to work from that or I'm just gonna kind of move it. So it's not really gonna be like a swap out, it's really gonna be like a moving, so that the second version is gonna have more orange than yellow. See how that works out. But can you see how cool the color change lip is? Oh my gosh, it's really cute. It looks good on film, on camera, but it's even better in person. So if you are interested in getting the pattern or the design, the link for the pattern is in the description of this live video. Also, the link for the yarn is in the description of this video. And so at any time that you get or purchase those things, you can watch these lives via replay, and you can comment and ask questions as it pertains to the pattern. Yeah, so we're going to begin in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes. So in the 5 minutes, let's see how much of this arm I can get done. Let me fix that camera angle, because the way it's angled, it's not going to. Okay, that's a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. See, it's creeping up on me. I gotta figure out that off the shoulder component. And forgive me, look, I was trying to be slick. this dress is trying to cover up, or I don't know how well it's doing, but it's covering up the fact that I'm not putting on a bra. So if I look a little low in the midsection, I am, and I'm just gonna chalk it up to being chill and relax. And I got this really fun patterned dress on that is hopefully hiding that fact. So yeah, don't mind that. Don't worry about that. Just trying to be slick, because I didn't want to put one on today. And I thought this dress would allow that. I don't know how well it's allowing that. I mean, of course, it looks way better with a strapless bra, but chill out. Hopefully, I don't look crazy. I don't look too bad with don't talk too bad about me. I had to get relaxed. I'm just trying to find where I have the instructions for the hands and arms. And my hands are so dry that the mouse of the computer is not recognizing my touch. I gotta get it together. Are y'all with me? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I want you to comment in the comment section if you can hear me okay, if the sound is alright. I got the fan low going, because, you know, it gets a little warm without any kind of air, so I have the fan going. But yeah, can you hear me okay? Are y'all good? Am I coming in clear? Do I need to speak louder? I know it's Friday, but just let me know. I wonder if I'm missing comments. Let me see. Check. Okay. So we're starting at 7:30. That's in 1 minute. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this handing on them. 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, it's Friday. It's Friday. And it's it's crazy how here in New York we had a heat wave, and it was a heat wave on Wednesday, and then I think yesterday, from going from 90 degrees on like Wednesday, we went down to 60 degrees yesterday. I was like, the heck? That's kind of crazy, no? I think that's kind of crazy. But yeah, it's kind of wild. Okay, and it is officially 7:30, so let me put this here like so. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna need that. No, I'm not gonna need that. Put that there. Get my other points. Okay, so let me begin my introduction. My name is Anika, and I'm the artistic designer behind My Kind of Thing, a handmade company that specializes in one-of-a-kind handmade dolls, particularly dolls of color, even more specifically, black and brown dolls. The mission statement of My Kind of Thing is to promote pride and confidence in children of color, particularly girls, and even more specifically black and brown girls, in efforts to combat self-hate through creating these beautifully unique doll designs. My intention is to add to the store of positive imagery for black and brown girls. Today, like the days that you'll see, we are working on finishing, or well, doing this doll design. And today, I believe the schedule calls for us to work on the dress and body, which is all attached. And can I just say, this design is just really cute. I really just like the colors and her. I like her width. She has a really good width. And we are using My Kind of String yarn to create this beautiful, beautiful girl. I usually take the labels off, so don't worry about that. But let's get started. We will be working from, where does it say? The pattern says, and if you have the pattern, you should be following along. I know the pattern has it written where it's the head, then the dress and body, but the way we are doing it as far as scheduling and everything is concerned, we are working on we worked on the limbs before we started the body. And as a matter of fact, let me see, because I think I'm going to have to use some of the Fudge Drizzle. Yeah, because there is a little row, like, I don't know if you see, but she has a little belly button. And so, but today we're working on the dress and the body. And there's a significant amount of color change. Y'all know well, in case you don't know, I love neat color change, so you can see. I carried it vertically. I don't carry it horizontally. But yeah, let us get started. The pattern starts with the dress, I believe. It does. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to be changing. Instead of using the yellow as the main color, I'm going to be using Firelight as the main color. So let us begin. The pattern calls for the 3.5 millimeter hook. Get it? Hey, you know what? Do me a favor, comment, because I don't think I'm seeing the chat. hi Nora. Okay, I don't know what's happening. I've been not able to see. Okay. Oh, look at that. It finally is on the computer now. Y'all gonna see me do this a lot, but mostly it's because I'm trying to hide the fact that I am not wearing the lifting mechanism. But also, yeah, let's just, okay, so you have your, your 3.5 millimeter hook, hopefully, right? And if you have my kind of string yarn, then you will be starting with Summer Shine, which is our yellow, really beautiful, vibrant yellow. Oh, we kind of got the same thing going on. A little off the shoulder action. Little off the shoulder action. But you're gonna start with Summer Shine. Because I've already done her, I'm going to be moving the colors around some. And so I'm gonna start with Firelight instead of Summer Shine, because y'all know I just have an aversion to doing the same thing twice. Hopefully those of you who ordered companion packs have begun your sunset doll design with your companion pack and all the cool little accessories that it comes with. Those really cute eyes, sparkly eyelashes, those color changing lips. Like we got some exclusive vinyl. Hey Barbara Todman, welcome. Okay, and so for the dress part, we start with, it says 52 chains. Oh goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. Boom. Nice neat little chain of 52. Let's see. Oh, got it. Slip stitch to form a ring. Now when you slip stitch to form the ring, you have to also make sure that you do not accidentally twist the yarn. The chain. Okay. And now I'm drawing a blank of how I even did this. Because I'm already challenging what is written there. Because that's just how I get down. But I'm going to be working in the back bumps of the chain, because I ultimately want I have to use this braided component when I attach it to her shoulders. And let me just make sure. I believe so. Yeah. It's funny because I work on so many things and so much that sometimes I legit don't remember how I did a thing, and certain things you can't specify in a pattern. And so for me, my mind just automatically says, hey Nicole. My mind is just like, okay, this is how I'm gonna do it right now. Which again, sometimes I do things specifically because there's a specific reason why I do it that way. Slip stitch to form ring, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And that 3 counts as your first double crochet. And okay, so yeah. So in that same stitch for that same space. I'm going to do another double crochet, right? And then skip 3. Okay, and then 2 double crochet and chain 3 and 2 double crochet on the 4th stitch. And we're going to do that every other stitch. This is called the iris stitch. I think sometimes people call it that. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3. And here's the thing. In designing this, I made mistakes with this count a few times. So if y'all see me say, uh-oh, I made a mistake, 1, 2, 3, and I gotta go back, don't judge me. It might happen because again, sometimes it's you just have to be really, really diligent. And like I said, I'm going in the back bumps of the chain, not the chain part. 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, and so it's 2 double crochets and then 3 chains. Did I do 3 chains in that first one? I hope I did. See, certain thing right, because I'm used to doing 2 chains. But I can't remember what was the reason. 2 chains. 2 chains didn't work because it just seemed a little tight around the. It just seemed like it wasn't loose enough. It didn't hang enough. And so that's why I opted for 3 chains instead. So 1, 2, 3. Once we finish this row, though, it's pretty easy. It's not too crazy, and I love this stitch. Actually, it's one of my favorite stitches. So 1, 2, 4. I know I'm gonna probably make a mistake because let me not say that. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Are you still an overachiever as of right now, Nicole Davis? Are you still ahead of all of us? All of us delinquents? 1, 2, 3, 4. Amount of times that I had to do this over, not even just because I messed up the oh, that's good, okay, keep up the good work. Hey Zay, keep up the good work. Look, can I tell you how I mentioned earlier I finally finished the orange version of May. Look at all of them, they look so cute together. I still got the green one still doesn't have a face. The 4 on the end, pink, purple, blue, and green, still don't have buttons. Orange girl doesn't have her earrings yet, and they all need their flower appliques attached. And the only reason why I haven't done it is because I intend to record them on video, and I just haven't set up to record doing it. So yeah, that's why it hasn't been done yet. And the other thing is too, for the little girl with the cornrows right there at the end, I'm gonna give her baby hair. So thank you. Oh, thank you, Zay. So I shared earlier, TMI, I love this dress. It is supposed to be worn with a strapless bra. I didn't feel like putting on a strapless bra, so these frills are doing a okay job of covering up the fact that I am braless right now. So, but thank goodness for this this frill. This dress was custom made for me. I don't know if you all remember, but I bought this material because I lived up the block from this really cool store that sold all kinds of beautiful African prints. I'm so mad it burned down. And they're not rebuilding, but they had the best African print fabric, like all different kinds of prints, and really large amounts for like a low price. Or I would get like, they would sell it like six yards, like each amount, maybe like a really nice price for like 6 yards. And initially I'm like, I want it for doll making, but 6 yards is way more than I need for doll clothes. And I've just always wanted to also sew just regular clothes. And so I used what I needed for the dolls. And then I had my mother's really talented friend who's a seamstress. She made me dresses. She made 2 dresses and one other outfit. She made like a nice little overcoat. And the funny thing is, this is how I stayed connected to these designs, because these 3 designs were part of a larger exhibit in a museum in North Carolina, and the exhibit, all of the dolls from the exhibit were purchased by a collector. And I thought it was so cool because the dolls their clothing is made from the materials. So when I look at this dress, it also reminds me of these dolls that I created, who are really, really beautiful, part of a great museum exhibit, or were part of a museum exhibit, and now the owner has the dolls, but me and the dolls still share this in common. So this dress is also the skirt of a doll. The jacket, or it's like a jacket, it is the skirt of another doll design. Yeah, I think I made them all skirts. And it came out so good. Oh my gosh. I think I need to do a picture with the bra on though. I need to do a picture, and I need to have the doll inside the picture. How y'all can see it? It's pretty. Thank you.
Your babies.
And so I need to do a side by side, because the skirt for the doll came out so nice, and I layered a little tulle under all of the skirts so that I just added to it. But it came out really, really good. All 3 of them came out so good. It was actually 6 of them, and they all had fabric elements, but those 3, they had the special fabric. And so that's what made them really, really stand out. 1, 2, 3, 4. But what part are you up to now, Nicole? And everybody else, what parts are y'all up to? 1, 2, 3. Is everybody, I know everybody's not overachieving. If you're like me, so for part 2, I still gotta finish one arm, but I got the feet and the legs, so we're good. Hope I'm getting closer to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's hope I did it right. Because if I did, I would take everything out of it, find where I made the mistake. Hey, Azizi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So hopefully I got it right. Hopefully I did it right. let's see, there should be 1, 2, 3. Is this 4? I think I did it right, okay. I might not have a mistake, hold up. Okay, hopefully. I think we did it on the first try. It's a miracle. Because that almost never happens. Okay, so we got the first row. I think it's only 2 rows though. Yeah, it's only 2. Oh, you know what? That's why. Why y'all didn't tell me? I had to take this whole thing out because there was 1 row. Yeah, I was supposed to do a row of single crochet. I got to do this and I got to take out the chain. I completed the head, shoulders, dress body, wig cap, feet and legs. Worked on the sandals last night. They almost took me out because I kept doing it wrong. Oh, okay, those sandals were a little tricky. They were tricky to design. So I know that they're probably tricky to do. But yeah, see, and y'all didn't even say nothing to me. Y'all watched me just work from a chain, and that's part of why it took so long. I'm like, why would I work from a chain? And I knew when I was supposed to do the slip stitch, I had skipped something. Yeah, y'all just let it happen. Nobody said nothing. So I got to chain those 52 again, and then I got a single crochet in the back loops or the back bumps of the chain down 52, and then I begin that iris stitch. See what I'm saying? Yeah, and the thing about the sandals is I only did them the one time in designing the pattern, and I remember the amount of effort it took to design them and write it down. So I can't even. I have to actually look at the directions and instructions in order to even be like, oh, I know where you messed up. But it was probably, I can tell you the mistake was probably in the straps, because there is a chaining component and going up and coming back down. There's a whole bunch of that. And yeah, I'm going to have to, at some point, really just put certain things on camera for you all, because I realize that sometimes writing isn't enough to turn out so cute. Thank you. They did, but they are definitely, like most of these things, they're a labor of love. You kind of have to have patience and really work through it, because the other thing about how I design is that I think a lot of times I'm designing in a way that's not common, or I'm doing things in a way that people don't normally do them. And it's not even intentional, it's just, that's the way my crochet mind works. Okay, so I'm going to chain the 52. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, and 52. It was a good challenge for me. Anxiety was getting the best of me last night, and the challenge of working through the samples helped. Oh, okay. One of the things that I realize too sometimes is I have to lock in. Like there are moments where I'm like, things are frustrating to do, and I literally have to tell myself, okay, stop for a second and think about what you're doing and focus. Because I think that sometimes we are functioning throughout the day and we do a lot of things that are just habit, right? We do a lot of things that are just really, really habitual as we move throughout the day, so that when it's time to do tasks that require real focus and attention, it can be really, really frustrating. And so a lot of times, one of the ways I work through that too is that I have to remind myself that I'm capable, because sometimes it'll make you feel silly. Like certain things sometimes makes me feel silly. Like, why are you struggling with this? Like, what's going on with you? And I have to remind myself, no, you're not silly. You are far from dumb. Take a minute, take a breath, take your time, look at what you're doing, pay attention. And so I think crochet has really, really allowed me to do that more than any other thing. And because I have to do it so often in crochet, it transfers into life. One of the things that challenged me recently was I had been working on order forms for a while now, just trying to figure out the best way to create an order form and not necessarily have to, it just was annoying me because the process of creating a form that's going to be a clickable link that people that are interested in placing custom orders can click all of the things that they want, then the order form adds up the different things that they want, calculates it, and allows them to purchase throughout this whole order form, instead of what I had before was an order form, or having to correspond with the person and saying, okay, what things would you like, and having to write them down, then having to type them up into an invoice, and then all of that was so time consuming, and I hate admin work. But recently, because I'm using Google Docs, I think, or some sort of Google form or something, and I wanted it to also do calculation of cost, it required me to get an add-on to, it was a lot of technological, I don't want to say a lot of technological advancements, because it wasn't. It's just that I'm so horrible and I have such an aversion to admin work that I had made up in my mind that this is going to be really, really difficult. But of course, whenever things get like that, I have to take a moment. And then, you know, in addition to that, right, my go-to person is Yolanda Jordan of My Pretty Brown Doll. She's so good with that stuff, you know, and she always serves as like, she always does me the favor of test running things that I'm uncertain about. And so that's another thing that I really love about her and who she is. You know, she comes through for a sister, and sometimes it's just so random. You know, I'd be like, hey, and she's like, okay, give me a minute, or, you know, or she'll respond like right away sometimes, and it's really cool to have that kind of support in the background, you know. And so I say all this to say that, you know, focusing and being patient with yourself really, really helps when you're having a hard time with something, or something is challenging you. And I'm gonna be honest, some of these things are a mental challenge, you know. It really is a way to really kind of exercise your resolve, exercise, well, how well does my brain function, how focused am I really, you know, and you kind of got to lock in, you know, sometimes you really got to lock in. Okay, and again, doing that straight from the chain, I wondered why it looked crazy, because I'm like, I don't remember that. Because, and the reason why I created this road here is specifically because trying to do it straight from the chain was ridiculous. It was challenging, or unnecessarily challenging, by the way. And then also just trying to make it easier for when I have to attach the this onto the body, the shoulders, right? When I have to go and attach this to the shoulders, it's just easier to have this. Can you see it? It's just easier. You know, it looks like the top of a single crochet stitch. And so that's important. So now we can begin and it's so much easier. I don't know what I was thinking a few minutes ago, but I spent all that time doing that and having to take it out. But we're gonna be fine. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're gonna do what it do. 1, 2, 3. So much easier. I have to do a whole bunch of looking and making sure I'm in the chain right. 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, we're good. It's so funny because I'm looking at this. That is totally not my stomach. Oh, I'm gonna get it together one day. I tell you, the last live that I did from Honey Dip's house, I think I looked so rough. But we gonna work. Listen, I understand that people people want to like what they're looking at when they're doing things. And so I be trying not to come on here looking hit. But every now and then it's just like, listen, could we do it? Could we just, 1, 2, 3, 4. So forgive me if I don't always look like somebody loves me. But I promise you, I am loved and taken care of. Sometimes I'm just so ready to do the work. And I'm just like, come on. Do you need eyeshadow and lipstick and foundation? And do you need to fix your, But sometimes you do. Because again, presentation is important, right? People will judge you based on how you present yourself. So, gotta be mindful. Because for those of you who are not familiar with me and my work, the work is impeccable. The work is immaculate. Now the person, she a little ashy sometimes. She a little dry sometimes. Person a little rough sometimes. But the work, always wonderful. And I'm not just saying that because I did it, or maybe I am, but I'm saying it because I know the amount of effort. I put way more effort into the work than I do into the person, which I'm working on. So if what I look like is a distraction to you, just close your eyes. Well, you can't do it if you close your eyes, but I'm just saying, sometimes, I'm really, really proud of the work that I do. I've done a lot of dolls over the year, a lot of different designs over the year. I think the last time we were live, I was talking to you all about my Halloweenies. And I'm going to tell you, I was going through them again, looking at them, I also was just looking at a lot of the things that I've created, and I was actually explaining to my aunt one of my other favorite creations. And this is a good, let's have this conversation. For those of you who have been here, and even if you're watching on a replay and you're familiar with My Kind of Thing, My Kind of Thing University, and you've participated in the crochet alongs, or you purchased patterns, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you're just familiar with the creations. What's your favorite creation? I'm going to tell you, I was looking through my photos, because I have thousands of photos of the work that I've done over the years. Thousands. When I say thousands, the last time I checked, the count was like 15,000, not 1,500, 15,000 and some change. That was a while ago, so I'm sure it's more now. But I was explaining to Mom, because I was having one of those moments where I'm like, oh, I'm doing way more work than I can afford to do. Me and, sales and everything is gone kind of down, and then with Facebook deleting all of my videos, me having to slowly re-upload them and take inventory of what has to be redone. I haven't been able to promote things that I'm doing, and so I'm like, okay, I have to shift again or pivot again, and that's also why I'm taking custom orders. So if you are not a crocheter and you would like to purchase a doll, you have the option to purchase a custom, or right now, y'all see me, My Kind of Thing University peeps, I'm actually not keeping the dolls. So the summer night designs are in fact available for purchase. But either way, so I'm having a moment and I'm explaining to my aunt, because she says that I have spent too much time alone and isolated. And I was trying to explain to her that it's not the detriment you think it is, right? Because I actually prefer solitude most of the time. It's not on some, oh, I'm a lonely person or anything like that, but she thinks that I need to be more social, and they say that, and sure, probably should be a little bit more, but not too much, because I don't love it. I don't love it. I really love creating dolls. I love creating doll designs. I finished the first row. Much better, much more stable foundation. Yeah, before it was a little flimsy. I love being able to create dolls, and I love designing. I love designing, and I love creating stories. And while I'm saying this, if you are familiar with My Kind of Thing and all of that, tell me in the comments your favorite My Kind of Thing doll design. Even if it doesn't have if it's not a crochet along, if it's a design. But I was explaining to her, right, how much I absolutely love designing, and I love coming up with stories for these designs. So a lot of times, if you follow me, you know that the crochet alongs in particular usually have a backstory. And I've engrossed myself so much in designing and creating these original doll designs, that so much so that I had some of them turned into illustrations, and I've written things about them. Like, I've created things about them. Like, for example, I was explaining to her, like, because again, my family doesn't necessarily know the extent of what I do, like, and how I do it. Like, they know I make dolls, but after that, they're not really familiar or acclimated or even familiar with the university component, right? They're not like, oh, they like, oh, you teach classes, but they don't understand, like, the significance of the fact that I teach classes, right? They know that I have a yarn company, but they don't, I don't know why. Well, let me not say no, I don't know why. But y'all know how it is. The people that are close to you, they see you, they're used to you doing certain things, and so they're not that impressed. Right? But here's the thing. I impress myself. And the thing about impressing yourself, and I say this to you because I say this to me, and I want you to think about it. Bonnie Tony, your baby that you talked about. Bonnie Tony, oh my gosh, I love talking about him on career day. I impress myself because the amount of effort and focus that I put into these designs, and not just them being created, the things that I think or associate with them as I'm designing them, as I'm creating them. Summer Night, even though neither one of them are the original design, the original Summer is based on my niece, and if you've been following me, then you've seen my niece. My niece has assisted me with doll sales. Summer Night is based on Summer, my niece. Winter Day is based on my niece Winter. Who's about to be a mom? Oh, it's crazy. You know, I've done so many designs that are based on my people. When I say my people, I mean my relatives and my black people. Black people, right? Side note, y'all know Nurse Pam? That's my aunt. Nurse Pam, the Nurse Pam pattern, that's Auntie Pam. Based on my Auntie Pam. So a lot of times the designs you see are based on, or they're made in the likeness or the image of my people, right? And so my people is has double meanings. My people is in my family. It's also my people is in black people. And so I was telling Auntie Pam, sometimes we sit at the kitchen table and we talk, and she was explaining how, you know, I'll be isolated and whatnot. I'm like, I'm working, I'm cooking, Auntie Pam. Just let me, you know, I know it looks like being a hermit because y'all don't see me and all of that stuff, but I promise you, it's not me saying, oh, you know, let me get away from human beings. It's literally me creating really cool stuff. So I was explaining, because we talked last time about, it was a Sunday, we talked about the Halloweenies, right? And Nicole was saying her favorite was Bonnie Tony from the Halloweenies, which is an amazing design. Bonnie Tony, hilarious. 2 costumes, 1 kid going door to door, trick-or-treating, and running back around for the second one with a different Halloween costume on. Again, this was all just part of something that I thought would be a really cool story for him. But I was telling him, I was like, now that's Bonnie Tony. Okay, but do y'all remember the gingerbread game? Oh, Kayla's a good one. Kayla, you know what's so funny? So Kayla is based on my little sister. There was a picture, I have 2 little sisters, of them together. And my mother had them in like sweater dresses or something. And I just pulled Kayla from it because Kayla's a popular name. And so I worked on a doll made in the image of my little sister. So that's what the Kayla design is. Funny enough, Kayla did way better than I anticipated. I just wanted to do a neutral design. I based it on a picture of the 2 of them together. And that design did way better than I thought it was. Side note, the Kayla companion pack. There are limited companion packs available for that design. So if you missed out on the Kayla companion pack, you have the option while supplies last, because like I said, I found some coconut cream when I recently did inventory. And so as long as we have enough coconut cream, you might be able to get a Kayla companion pack. Now once that coconut cream is gone, Kayla companion pack is no more because you need coconut cream in order to do the Kayla doll design. But yeah, the gingerbread game. Okay, so see, this is the thing. It wasn't just the fact that they were gingerbread themed creations. as I started creating them and started coming up with a story behind them and their creation, and why it's a gingerbread gang, and why I didn't just stick with the typical, oh, do a gingerbread boy and a gingerbread girl, because that's not who I am. I am someone who likes to do some original things, right? So I'm like, nah, we're not stopping at a gingerbread boy and a gingerbread girl. We got the gingerbread gang. And so I did 3 boys and 3 girls, and together this, what is it? Cookie and Candy Coalition. And they formed this Candy and Cookie Coalition. I love alliteration, by the way. And their job is to track down the elf on the shelf, right? Because every Christmas, the elf on the shelf, he's out there doing little pranks while people are sleeping. But the thing about this is that I'm like, nah, the elf on the shelf is not a regular elf on the shelf. This elf on the shelf is off the chain. He's doing some other things that we can't let happen. And so I was like, nah, this is different. This elf on the shelf ain't even an elf on the shelf. I started calling him a stealth elf on the shelf, because here's the thing. I wanted to make it using my kind of string yarn. Elf on the shelf wears a red outfit with white. My kind of string yarn does not have a red, as you can see. We don't have red yet. And so I'm like, what can I use instead of red that would add to the fact that this guy is out of line? Oh, we got black. And the reason why we did black, because it's like, oh, stealth elf, he hides in the shadows, right? So if he's hiding in the shadows, he's really stealthy. Here's the other thing. I also suggested, aside from the My Kind of String, the Candy Girl, pink one is, oh, the pink one, that's another one. And you know what, I was looking even too, you know, the fall harvest design. I like the way she's put together. But while working on all those gingerbread gang members, because remember, I use My Kind of String yarn to make them. Mostly, of course, My Kind of String doesn't have white yarn, so I had to outsource for white. Not a big deal, right? As I'm making them, and as I'm imagining in my mind that they're going to be going after the elf on the shelf, I'm like, yo, make the elf on the shelf, but then you don't got red, you got black though. And so that's when the whole him hiding in the shadows and all of that. And then I'm like, if you really want to get funny, you could, if you're gonna forego the My Kind of String yarn, and maybe you want to just use the design and use a different yarn. I don't suggest it because, you know, I created My Kind of String and I want you to use My Kind of String. But I was like, you know what else would be really dope? And I got the yarn to do it. Red Heart makes a camouflage yarn. And I want to make my stealth elf, who I wound up calling Holiday Hooligan. Because again, I love alliteration. And elf on the shelf is really cool, but I'm like, now I'm doing my kind of thing. And my kind of thing, he's a little bit more rough than the elf on the shelf. And that's why the Cookie and Candy Coalition has to stop him. Because he's getting carried away, he's getting out of hand, and he has done things that Santa's like, nah, this can't go down. This can't happen. And he had to dispatch the agents, and each gingerbread gang member, I gave an agent a code name for each agent. The main one that I always remember is Agent Crumble. Agent Crumb. Oh shoot! I gotta go remember what the names were, because I legit gave them all really cool code names for this mission. And the thing is, I started thinking of all the things that this little holiday hooligan would be doing. And one of the funniest things I imagine him doing is him stealing Santa's naughty and nice list. Well, actually going down to the Staples, because he don't got a printer and computer at his house, because you know he's a He's an agent of chaos. He can go down to the Staples and he creates a counterfeit naughty and nice list, and he's planning on going to Santa and swapping out the real one with the fake one, a counterfeit naughty and nice list. And so the mission is for the for the gingerbread gang to stop him before he gets to do it, because if he gives Santa the wrong information, he's ruining Christmas. And you know, he walks around with the F-bombs, and if you're not paying attention, you would think that they're Christmas tree ornaments. They are not. They're F-bombs, okay? He just does all kinds of stuff. He does all kinds of stuff. He creeps through the tree, Christmas tree, unscrewing light bulbs and everything. He doesn't care. He's out there, he's doing what he wants, and he has to be stopped. And so the stealth elf, also known as the holiday hooligan, was another really fun creation that in my mind is like, even talking about him, talking about them, talking about the designs that I make, there is a version in my mind where they're animated. They are alive and doing things in my mind. And so the dolls that I create are kind of like, they're just models of what I know to be like a bigger thing that one day, I don't know when, but one day I'm going to be able to share with like the whole world, like some form of animation, because I have some really great ideas. But the Gingerbread Gang and the Holiday Hooligan are another group of cool themed dolls that I just love. And when I tell you, I got so engrossed in it, because I even named the Holiday Hooligan. Does anybody remember what I named him? And if you're watching on a replay, just real quick comment in there if you remember. I don't think y'all remember, but there was a specific, even how I named him was funny to me and fun to do. But yes, the Holiday Hooligan had a whole name and everything, like I legit. And it was based on the fact that there is a candy that I hate. Y'all know I hate candy corn. I hate the taste of it, but I love the look of it. I think candy corn is such a fun indicator that Halloween is coming, and Halloween is like my second favorite holiday next to Christmas. The other thing is that I didn't normally do, like I can count on one hand how many times I've done an actual Christmas themed design. I usually lean on Kwanzaa. But aside from candy corn, nasty to me, I can't stand black licorice. Nasty, right? And so I named him Naz, T licorice. I don't remember if I created something that the T stands for, but it's Naz, Nazz, T licorice. And so, you know, when he's trying to be official, you know, he wants to be called Mr. Licorice, whatever. But licorice is so nasty. And so his name is Naz T. Licorice. And he is the holiday hooligan that the Gingerbread Gang has to go and get. Again, it's really, really fun designing these dolls and creating the background stories and information that are related to them. And so when y'all get the crochet alongs, like you all know, there's usually an explanation of the design, who they are, and that's fun for me too. And so I'm trying to explain to my aunt, you know, I promise you, I'm not lonely. I am isolated sometimes, and I do isolate because I'm focused. I'm hyper focused sometimes when I have a really good idea. So much so that I'm just like, I need uninterrupted time. I can't, you know, do all the socializing because I just need to get this out. I need it to, you know, I need to do it. Once it's done, then I could talk and chill and all of that. But anytime before that, I'm just like, I can't move until this is done. And so all that talking, I know, but I got the second row. It's looking good. It's looking good. Okay. Here's the thing. What I did discover when I did it the first time was that I would like this much better if I had done it with the 3.25mm hook instead of the 3.5mm hook. Not a big deal. The only thing is I would have had to chain, I would have had to add maybe, I would have had to add something else. I wouldn't have had to add, because the base still needs to be, no, I would have had to add more chain. But there was something about it that made me feel like, oh, this was, oh, okay, this was the dilemma. The dilemma was the part where the shoulders are out at, and the part that was connected to the skirt, to the dress. So I would have had to compensate for that, probably add like about maybe 4 more stitches, just so that it doesn't, that it's not too loose off the shoulders, but not too tight on the shoulders. Because again, changing the hook would make this smaller, so I would have to add stitches to compensate, and then I'd have to do the math to figure out what parts of the connection are left off when I'm connecting it, because as you can see, it's not connected here. Kind of like the dress that I have on right now. So, actually, just like this wasn't intentional. This dress for this doll design today was not intentional. It was just, I really like this dress, and I didn't want to put on. So, just trying to be a little free. I was feeling kind of like, but yeah, so what row are we on? We're on row 4. Yep, we're on row 4. And that chain 2 counts as your first single crochet. And then, I believe, the next stitch is, yep. Y'all see the instructions. Okay. And then did I do, you know what, here's the thing. Initially when I did this, I did a picot stitch in the middle, but I didn't like the way it looked. So I wound up having to go back over it and taking it all off. Let's see, the next, oh, okay. Let's see, double. I knew I did something that was not different. It's a half double. Oh, really? Only those 3 things in that space? Okay. That's what the pattern says. Let me see if that's what I did. I tell you, sometimes what I write and what I do be trying to be different. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I did do that. I swear sometimes I feel like, for those of you who are not familiar with me, like if you're new here, it is quite plausible for you to not believe that I designed these patterns. I promise you I did. My brain just fixates on a thing for a while, sometimes for a long while, and then when I'm done, it immediately goes on to the next thing. So yeah, I promise you, I did in fact design all of these designs that you see here. Every last one of them. They're all my own original designs. But yeah. So, again, I just love some of the designs. And so the Halloweenies, right? The Gingerbread Gang, and then there's my whole nature series. So, for those of you, again, who have been following me for a while, you know that I am in love with nature. The bee designs are really, really popular. I love Penelope Pollen. I love Busy and Buzzy. The Spring Sprite. But I'm gonna tell you, hands down, my favorite of the nature designs, and it shifts. Today, today, my favorite right now is Dewey and Misty, the Mushroom Magistrates. They are, and again, when I design and create, my goal is often like I'm creating a whole character. And so Dewey, right, and Dewey is actually the character. Misty is just the name that I named the second version that I did, and she's the same design, just a different skin tone and hair color. But Dewey, as the Mushroom Magistrate, she is actually the authority on, plants and, fungi and all of those really cool forest creatures. And when I began like creating the background story for Dewey, I legit was like, she works at dawn and she works at sunset and sunrise, twilight and dawn. So she only works an hour a day, because twilight is only about a half an hour, dawn is only about a half an hour. So for that amount of time, you have the ear of Dewey, the Mushroom Magistrate. Well, that's just one of her titles. But her goal, or her mission, is to solve the confrontations between fungi and plants and, microorganisms and the bugs, in the forest. But one of the cool things about Dewey in this world that I'm building is that, again, Dewey works at dawn, and Dewey works at twilight. And she, works, she goes around the forest and she's solving little rifts and issues between the different organisms that live in the forest. The small ones though, not like big animals and stuff, like, again, mushrooms and bugs and microorganisms. She solves the conflicts. I think the largest thing that she mediates for, or the largest creature that she mediates for, would be like bushes and flowers. I don't think she deals with trees. I think that might be someone else. I don't know yet. Maybe I haven't created her yet, or it yet. But just the forest floor and maybe a few flying creatures. But yeah, and so Dewey is another one of my favorites. And the funny thing about Dewey, right, is in creating Dewey with My Kind of String Yarn, I incorporated the mythology of My Kind of String Yarn. So My Kind of String Yarn colors, there's a little bit of myth to some of them, meaning they are like important components of the world that I'm building. Like, for example, firelight. Firelight is, it's a really pretty orange. If you've ever been camping, one of the most mesmerizing and hypnotizing things for me is sitting around a campfire at night. You ever just looked at fire? The fire of the campfire at night? It's such a strange and hypnotizing sight to see. And there's something about firelight that I just think is magical. I do. I think it's magical. And thus, this kind of reminds me of firelight and the actual, firelight and the magic of it. And then we have magic moss. Magic moss is a really, really cool green. I have it right here so you can see it. Even though we're not working with it, I got a little magic moss right here. Don't got the label on it, but this is the magic moss. You see the green girl right there? Magic moss, beautiful shade of green. I don't know how to explain it to y'all, but My Kind of String Yarn, Nobody else got this. This is based on a green that I had found years ago. I'm not going to say the company that made it, but the company that made it discontinued it. And I couldn't understand why they would do such a thing. It was a beautiful shade of green. And when I found out they had discontinued it, I just held on to the ones that I had. And I'm like, oh, if ever I get the opportunity, I'm bringing this back. This green needs to exist in the realm of yarn. It has to. And so when I got the opportunity, I did. And furthermore, the texture of it was a softer acrylic. And it wasn't necessarily worsted weight. It was considered worsted weight, but it was different. It was a smoother, softer, it had like a shine to it. It was a different texture. And I'm like, nah, I needed to be like a worsted weight. I needed to be a fluffy worsted weight. So I got it to the color and the texture that I needed it to be in order for it to work with all my other colors. And so Magic Moss, I named it Magic Moss, but Magic Moss has a place in the world that I'm building. So Magic Moss is this special moss. You know how moss usually grows on a certain side of trees and stuff in the forest, and that's how people that's one of the ways people are able to follow directions in the forest. If you ever get lost, I think moss grows on the north side of things, something like that. But magic moss is different. Magic moss is rare and it grows in dark spaces. So it doesn't require the sun, and it is extremely vibrant, and it has magical properties. This is in the world I'm building, right? And then I went on to design and create April and Bemba. Who here remembers April and Bemba? Bemba is the Swahili word for jump, and Bemba is April's pet frog. And April loves Bemba. And her mother, very, very nature-oriented, taught her about magic moss. And one of the things that April is doing is April is on a search for magic moss, because she heard that if she finds magic moss and feeds it to Bemba, Bemba will be able to talk. And so Bemba's her best friend / pet frog. And even though they communicate really, really well, it'd be really cool if he could actually talk. And so April and Bemba, every weekend, they go play in the forest that's behind her house, and they're on the lookout for magic moss. So that's the background story for that. Again, incorporating some of the ideas of what the color names are and the visuals of that, right? Fairy Berry is my really cool shade of purple. Not too dark, not too light. We got Fairy Berry. I love this purple. Another color that was discontinued by a company, and I was just like, why would they do that? You know, sometimes these are things that I have used a lot in my creations. And this is before I became a designer, before I started writing patterns and things like that. I just love the colors. And so when things started, you know, disappearing, I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. And so Fairy Berry was a shade of purple that I love, because lots of people love purple. Lots of people love purple. Purple is not my favorite color, but people love it. I understand why people love it. I don't knock it, right? That being said, I like the fact that it was in the middle. It wasn't a dark purple. It wasn't a light purple. And when it got discontinued, I was like, oh, come on. Y'all doing too much. And this purple, again, was a different texture too, completely different texture. But I would use it. And again, the reason why I would use it is because when I'm designing, it's important that all of the yarn that I use is all the same brand or at least all the same texture. And, and there was no way that I could design with that purple as it was with the main, because again, the main things, the main colors, you know, they were too different. And in order to design, I would have had to specify, okay, this is the yarn for this is the yarn for that. And if you do anything different, it would cause too much of a discrepancy. And so as much as I love this purple, I couldn't design with it. I could create with it, I just couldn't design with it. And so, again, it was one of those things, if ever I get the chance, I'm gonna. And I got the chance and I did. So, and Fairy Berry, when I came up with the name Fairy Berry, the thought process was, you know what it made me think of? It made me think of when I was, I don't know how old I was, had to be like maybe junior high school. I watched cartoons for a long time, so I could have very well been a teenager, maybe a preteen. But y'all remember the Disney afternoon with all of those shows that used to come on, those Disney shows used to come on, I think Channel 11 in New York City, it was Channel 11. But the show Gummy Bears, right? I remember they used to drink this special concoction that would make them really bouncy and they could bounce and jump all over the place. And I forgot what the name of the berry was that they used. But when I thought of naming that purple fairy berry, I started thinking of berries or fruit that only fairies, or maybe not only fairies, but a fruit or berry that were a staple in the fairy community. So amongst fairies, this berry is the main ingredient for a lot of their medicines, their foods, and all of that stuff. And so that's where the name Fairy Berry comes from. So amongst fairies in my world, fairy berry or fairy berries are picked by fairies, and they're often mistaken as other fruits that exist, but there are distinctive differences that make the fairy berry stand out from, say, a grape or a raspberry or a strawberry, or, you know? Am I talking too much, y'all? Are y'all still with me? Am I talking y'all heads off? We have the top of the dress finished. Now, here's where it gets fun, because this is where I have to work from the shoulders, and I have to line up the stitches from the last row of the shoulders with the first row of the dress. And here's the cool thing. I've done the work, so you don't have to, which means that, like I explained to you before when I showed you the doll, there is a mathematical component that tells you in the pattern, because I did the work, you don't have to, where you connect and when you don't connect and skip. That creates this nice little sleeve kind of situation. Because I guess if let's see, like with what I'm currently wearing, I don't know if I stretch out the arm. But I was going to say, you can pull an arm out maybe. I wonder what it'll look like. Let's see. Let's see what it'll look like if we pull the arm out and we just, you know, I don't like that. Of course not. Why would I? She wasn't made that way to do that. Hold on, I'm going to show you all. Yeah. Now she just looks like she's pulling her dress down. No. But anyway, these armholes are important because it gives the off-the-shoulder vibe. And like I said, it's written in the pattern what to do, where to connect, where to disconnect and skip, and where to reconnect, all of that. The instructions are there. Like I said, again, saying it again, I did the work, you don't have to. All you have to do is follow the directions. So don't worry about the math and numbers as long as you have the right amount at the top. You should be fine. This is how you also can tell whether or not you have the right amount of stitches. You know, because a lot of times we think that we can get away with, oh, I didn't get that stitch in, so I don't have to, or I'll, compensate later on. Nah, some of these, well, I don't even want to say some of them. It's important to follow the directions. This is also why the stitch count, the stitch count is at the end of every part of every row, so that you don't make the mistake of not knowing, because you need to know. Oh, do you need to know it? I know already, and I just put no. But either way, this is how you know that you're on the right track. This is how you can tell whether or not you made a mistake. You have to make sure that you have the count at the end of the row. And I see that we've been on here for 86 minutes. We're going to go a little bit longer, and then we're going to end. And I'm going to leave it up to you to not be delinquent and to finish the rest of part 3. It's so funny because I put this wig cap and stuff on, and I like the position of the wig cap and everything, so I am going to just start at the middle of what I think is the middle, because that's how I do. Okay, so now, what is it saying? Line up the stitches of row 1 of the dress and the stitches of row 29 using firelight, single crochet, and the front loops only of the first 7 stitches. Now here's the thing. I did mix this up because, like I said, I wanted to color change, so I'm going to have to use her as a reference, because where it says use firelight, I think I need to use Pixie Pop. So I'm just moving the colors down so that they'll be different. So, but your pattern says use firelight. So you guys to use firelight. Unless you're, unless you want to shake it up, do it a little different, make it like, get a little creative with it. There's always that, right? Got on my hook, boom. Then I'm going to put this like this, turn it inside out, and line it up with the shoulders. Now again, remember there's 52 stitches here, and there is 30 stitches, I believe. Not 30, 40 stitches? Let me see, let me just make sure. When you ended the head and shoulders, it was 40. So there's 52 of what you have is summer shine, but there's 40 of this shoulder, right? And that's for a reason, because there are some stitches for this that you will not be touching, you will be skipping, thus creating the distinction, right, between the armholes and the shoulder holes. Yeah, that's what it is, the shoulder holes. Okay, and also, let's see, it also instructs, because I wrote it, the pattern also tells you when you line those stitches up. Why am I all the way down here? stitches up. Pressing down. And here's a cool thing, right? Shout out to Chastity Stanley. You can also use stitch markers to kind of connect these pieces. So that as you're moving around, you don't lose your place, so you can kind of see. I'm going to use 2 stitch markers. I'm going to use a, I'm so anal about this. I'm going to use blue just because I was going to use the color that I'm using, but nah, I'm gonna relax. I'm not gonna be crazy. Okay, so I am just going to hold it in place. It doesn't have to be accurately pinned to each other. It's just a placeholder to kind of hold them together while I move the way I need to move. Now here's what I recommend. I recommend not putting the ears and the wing cap on yet. To be realistic with that one, I didn't put the ears and the wing cap on until I had, it's the Bronx, okay? And it's Friday. It's the Bronx and it's Friday. That's all I can say. What else can I say? I recommend not putting the ears or the wing caps on until you have the body finished, because that way you can put the belly button wherever you, I mean, the instructions tell you where to put these things, but it just allows for a little bit more freedom without having to worry about making certain mistakes. And like I said, I'm only pinning this or attaching this to the head and body because I just want to stabilize it. There are, like I said, there are 52 stitches of the Firelight, or in your case, the Summer Shine, and there are 40 stitches of the shoulders. The reason, again, I'm going to say it again, the reason for the discrepancy in the stitches is because some of these stitches are to create the shoulder holes. The other thing the pattern tells you to do is that you're going in the front loops only of the dress. I don't want to say the front loops only, okay, so maybe I should have said it differently. The back loops only of the dress into the front loops only of the shoulders, right? You're not going in the whole stitch. Hold on, let me just make sure. Okay, so I have this. And if you went in the back bumps of the first chain, or the chain, then it's easier for you to see what you're doing. Okay, so the back loops only of the dress, the front loops only of the shoulders. I think that's what I did. Because I might have gone in the whole stitch of the shoulders. It doesn't really matter, but definitely the see what this looks like, because I'm doing a lot of this talking, but I don't know what this is. That a spider? A spider? There was a spider in my hair. Where did it go? Oh my gosh, I hope it doesn't bite. I tell you, between the spiders and the mosquitoes, y'all see the spider? Freaking spider. Just walking in my head. I get it. I hope it don't bite. I'm not scared of them, but I don't like them. Okay, explain this, but my aunts have a really huge tree in the front yard and all kinds of really cool flowers and stuff. And my aunt loves her plants. And so occasionally nature just chills. Nature just hangs out. Okay, let me just see what this looks like. Okay, correction. I think the pattern tells you specifically. It is the front loops only of, and see, this is why I need to just look at what I wrote, because when I wrote it, it was right, and I agreed that it was right when I wrote it. Right? So yeah, I need to just follow my directions and stop always trying to do something different. So the instructions say, and the front loops only of the first 7 stitches of the dress and the front loops only of the shoulders. Okay, so let's try this again. Front loops only of the dress and the front loops only of the shoulders. I'm cool with nature until it comes to spiders and bugs. Okay, so spiders, I tell you, I'm okay with spiders, just not in my hair, because that spider was like legit just walking down my locks. I don't know what that's about. I don't know who told you that you could just come walking down my locks. But to the left, the right of me, there's a whole bunch of plants. She has a lot of plants. And then right outside the window is huge. When I tell you it's huge, I don't know how many feet it is up. She hates it, but it's way too expensive to get rid of it. Like the amount of money it costs to get rid of this big, huge tree. I don't know how many years old it is. It's a huge tree. And she hates it. The bark and the leaves during the fall, she'd be mad. But yeah, I love nature. I'm not scared of bugs. Yeah, I like nature. I'm cool with it. I ain't cool with it just walking down my hair like that though. And you know what's funny, because so you see all the dolls here, they sit on the window seat. When I'm not, like, when they're not here, they're not usually here. They sit on the window seat. And the window seat is probably one of y'all let that spider walk all over me. Unbelievable. Wasn't gonna say nothing? All right. But yeah, I love nature. I don't mind. I just, like I said, not in my hair though, sir. Like, chill out. And for the most part, spiders are, I don't want to say they're cool to have around. I think they do have some sort of benefit as far as like other bugs, like they get rid of other kinds of bugs. And I'm gonna tell you, I'll take a spider over a mosquito any day. Because when I tell you, one of the reasons why we don't do lives, or why I haven't done lives outside, is because I gotta get some repellent. I have to, because I'm telling you, they get me every time. They get me every time. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the thing. It is Friday, and I know that y'all can hear probably the music downstairs. So my cousin just got DJ equipment, and I'm sure that's what's going down now. It's Friday night. He's probably practicing. But we're gonna finish this row, and then we're going to end it, because I see that we are at 99 minutes. But yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It says in the first 7 stitches of dress, front loops, shoulder, row, single crochet in the next 6 stitches of the shoulders only. So now we're gonna put this down, and you see how I have this stitch marker holding this? I'm gonna move this stitch marker because I don't need it here. And I'm just gonna go in the next 6 stitches of just the shoulders. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I got that little faux stitch that I gotta remember. 5 and 6. Now, when I go into those 6 stitches of the body and not the dress, I have to also be mindful when it says only the shoulders, I have to skip 12 of the dress stitches. So, let's look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And now I'm back in the 13th stitch, the front loop only of the 13th. And then the front loops only of the shoulder. Can y'all hear that? Is it distracting? And then it's for that it's skip stitch of the single crochet in the front loops. Next remaining seven. Skip 12. Oh wait, I'm moving too fast. Then skip 12 then single crochet in the front loops. Next 14. Okay, so 14 stitches. Sorry. The music is distracting me, and y'all know I'm not really accustomed. I gotta find the mics I got. I have mics, and the mics would render all these outside sounds. You know, whatever. So 1, 2, 3. I just want to get through this row with you so that you all can see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, right? And remember, so we went into the first 7 stitches of the front loops only, the back loops only of the dress, and the front loops only of the shoulders, first 7 stitches. Then we skipped the 12 stitches of the dress, and we only went in the 6 stitches of the shoulders. And then, again, back to the back loops of the dress, front loops of the shoulders for 14 stitches. Because remember, symmetry is important. So there's 14 in the front, and there's going to be 14 in the back. We're going to now, I'm taking this little piece out because I don't need this stitch marker. We are going to single crochet only in the shoulders for 6 stitches, like we just did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we skip the 12 again of the dress. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now we're back on the front loops only of the dress and the back loops only of the dress and the front loops only of the shoulders, and that's for the remaining 7 stitches. So if your math is right, you should only have 7 stitches left on both the dress and on the shoulders, if your count is right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And again, that tells you that you did the math right, or did the count right. And so this is what it looks like. Ears are coming out of place, but don't worry about it. And here's the thing. See how the way I did it, her head is turned slightly. I'm gonna have to take these ears out and move them, the wig cap and all of that, to adjust, because right now it looks like she's looking to the side. But that is a simple matter of me moving the wig cap and the ears, because they're not permanently placed, so don't worry about that. But ultimately, this is what it looks like. And like I said, don't worry about a head turned. It's totally fine. But does anybody have any questions? Because I think we're going to end it right here. I think we've done enough. I think we've gotten the hard part out of the way, right? Which is, you know, just the attachment. But as usual, if you have any questions or anything that you feel like you don't quite understand in the pattern, that you need a little bit further explanation and support in, you can message me, or you can send me an email. You can comment here in the comment section. Make sure you like this video. You can also, in the Facebook group, you can comment or post. Oh snap, just in time, because my battery is low. But you can always message me via inbox or comment here if you're watching on the replay. You can join the My Kind of String Facebook group. That's where we are posting our progress photos and everything at. And so, like I said, if you have any questions, and it doesn't just have to be about this part. If you have questions about the second part or the first part or any other My Kind of Thing University design, there we go. We're just gonna move these ears a little bit. Just a little bit, to make her facing forward instead of to the side. See? Just a matter of moving the ears. That's all. Because I really like their placement. That's why I said don't attach the ears and the wig cap like I did first. You don't, because then you'll wind up having to move it around and all that based on what the pattern tells you to connect things and everything. So save yourself the headache of having to adjust and move things around. I'm mad because I really liked where that head, the wig cap and stuff was. Let's see. Yeah, I really liked it. I might not like this placement as much. I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, you can definitely inquire in the comment section of this video if you are interested in purchasing the pattern so that you can crochet along with us to create this little cutie and all of her little accessories. The link is in the description of this video. Make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe if you are a crocheter. And thank you all again so much for hanging out with me yet another live crochet together. It's not a crochet alone, it's a crochet together. And I think our next, and I believe our next live, oh shoot, I don't know what our next live is. Hold on, I'm gonna freeze for a second just to see where it is. Part 2, Part 3, August 1st. Oh. So our next part 4 is Friday, August 8th. So I'll see y'all Friday, where we'll be working on her accessories, her little hair bows, and her hat. That's what we'll be working on Friday the 8th. How cool is that? Look at that hat. Just sunset. Y'all have a great evening and a great weekend. I will see you all next time.